increase in violent crimes and deaths in Chicago that's rarely talked about is the domestic violence deaths that have occurred over the last few years. That's going up also. And it's hard to stop that when it's happening within these homes. There have been a few high-profile cases. But, because we normally helping people recover from alcoholism, substance abuse, and other addictions, or substance use disorders, which is the new term more commonly used, we have a gentleman who works in the construction field for years, over 20 years, and then he's become a general contractor. And he has began to expand his business, grow his business, get bigger contracts. So we believe in helping people get sustainable, what they call living wages. In the construction industry, even when sometimes you just a laborer, you get living wages. You get 20, 25, 30, 40,000 hours, you work your way up. As you get your certifications. And then there are other levels of electricians, plumbers, carpenters, where you start at $28, $30, and as you work your way up, you're at $45, $50, $60 an hour. And then you add overtime, and man, you can make a killing and a living that you do not have to hustle drugs and poison the community, and you do not have to take a bullet on the street over a few hundred, few $1,000s on this corner, that corner. Or you don't have to shoot at somebody else over those few dollars. And so my guest tonight is Deon Davis, a friend, a colleague, but most of all, a gentleman who's compassionate about helping our community as he's developed himself over the last 25, 30 years in a career in the construction industry and now as a general contractor and expanding to his own business. Deon, you want to tell me a little bit about your business, how you got started in the construction field?
Sure. I'm Deon. I'm a carpenter. Over 25 years. Started out many years ago working as an apprentice, and what I always say to anyone that I come across is that there are ways to build yourself up and do things other than be involved with different lifestyles. We all understand that we must travel certain paths. No one has to travel the same path, but we all must try to do what's necessary to bring about a positive impact anytime that we get a chance in the community or anywhere that we are a company of being. So being that it may be in church, it may be in fellowship in any kind of way to bring about a positive, so that then that's how things pour out. That's how I was introduced through the community. That's how individuals many years ago I had the opportunity to be around to install when I was trying to find a path of something that was constructive and positive, so that you could be able to grow yourself into be able to make a decent and honest living. So in saying that, I always try to involve myself any way that I can to work alongside the youth or anyone that comes into my arena. So it's just about trying to be productive, and I appreciate hand-up recovery. I've known about hand-up recovery for a long time, over 25 years, maybe about that long.
Before it started,
so
right?
Absolutely, before it started.
It was a thought.
Right, yeah. It was introduced to me, and greatly appreciated. I had a chance to be a part of it many years ago, and as Mr. Cook says, Wilbert says, Rem Cook. Is that all right? I said Rem?
Whichever one, but preferably Wilbert on this show.
Okay, sure, right.
It's non-profit. We tend not to stay away from the religious side.
Okay, let's do that.
It's spiritual a little bit.
Yeah, so anyway, Wilbert, have always been encouraging over the years through many years that we've been friends. So I've always appreciated the fact of giving a hand up. And if I'm giving a hand up, I'm going to try to give a hand up to someone else. So that's what I do.
Okay.
You know, when I even with my in the construction industry now, that it's not really it's growing. It's growing. It's not as big as I want it to be, but given the opportunity to get a hand up, I would definitely choose to give a hand up back. So that's been my my whole my motto in life is a hand out is different just from a hand up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had an old client used to always tell his standing joke was, but also one of our models, our real motto for the organization is, changing lives and saving families. But he started saying, we give a hand up, not a hand out.
Absolutely.
And so we believe in teaching folks how to fish and not just giving them fish. Sometimes you have to, though, because it's that dire at the time. I keep that emergency pack, peanut butter, Roman noodles, and all that, because sometimes you get people that's totally down on their luck and they just need some food to hold them over. Or you go to the grocery store and buy some bread, buy some cold cuts, some hot dogs, some Polishes, and you say, hey, this is going to get you through this week while we try to get you employed or help you get your benefits, or you recover and sustain yourself till you get your benefits next month because you spent them already this month. So we do things like that if it's needed, but for the shortest period possible before we try to get people to be independent, self-supporting. And that's part of this other program, a spiritual program, is that called recovery, is become self-supporting. You stop leaning on everyone, and that's one thing I'm glad Brother Deon Davis did was he never leaned on people much at all. He came in, still had a career intact, and he was able to lift himself up and go back to his business. And even when he came our way for a little help, it was really because of some family dynamics he was dealing with, because he was well on the road to rebuilding his life, had rebuilt it. And unfortunately, he had a bump in the road. But he comes back, helps renovate the place, fix things, help us, come up to code wherever some codes change or new requirements come along. So he helps us get better prepared for the future and to expand and enhance things. But likewise, he's always looking to help people learn how to be laborers in the construction field, learn how to be carpenters, learn some basic electrical things that they could do to help them sustain themselves, but also to be an asset to him in his contracting business. So it's a job opportunity. And like we say, what he does, how many different trades men's you've worked around from the various stages of different buildings you worked on. Even name a few buildings you may have worked on, whether they downtown or out of town.
Well, it's been so many,
Right.
so many, Wilbert. It's mostly built many houses. I've worked around every trade there is, electrical, plumbing, carpentry, bricklayers, and pipe fitter. The list goes on and on. But the most important is that when you to get the opportunity to go through, and which is why I'm glad that Hand Up is still doing what they're doing. I'm hoping that in the near future that we could collaborate and make sure, and hoping things could come through Hand Up. You can always start the process of trying to initiate like you said, initiate the initial insight. Because when they come in situations where they just don't know what direction to go in, you want to be able to lead a fish to water and show them that there's fish to be able to be caught. So if you're going out there to learn how to fish, they need to know that they can be trained to do these things in the construction industry. If not, they're not going to college.
Right.
Become a chef. Everybody might not want to work in the construction industry,
Right.
but men and women that do want to contribute, that and goes into that. There are certain people that will be willing to help while there information
Right.
to push the envelope forward. That's all.
Right.
Because you never know who's going to turn out, and someone may come through and just turn out to be something, do miraculous things.
Right.
I've built Soldier Field. I've worked at many
You
places.
worked on Soldier Field.
Oh yeah, I've worked many. Soldier Hospital.
Okay, my
I
man.
worked,
Name some of them places they know
Soldier.
about, they utilize.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rush. I've worked at so many over the years that was appreciated. Downtown, Northwestern. The list goes on and on. I've built numerous houses over the years. It's some places I worked, I had to have kind of like forgot because years go by. I said, oh yeah, I built that. There's buildings that have been really torn down. McCormick Place.
Right.
I worked all over the city of Chicago, suburbs, surrounding areas, Ohio, Detroit. I have a chance to work in Indiana.
Right.
See the oil plant, see the operations. So it's a wide variety. It's just grateful to have had the opportunity to even be a part of that, and very appreciative.
Yeah, so and we're fortunate we even have another colleague that happens to be over at the building making some restructuring his life, however he wanted to say it, but he spent the last 2 months and 2.5 months working on a project in Ohio, building a plant.
Oh yeah, great friend of mine.
So you can travel the country and make a great living. And you can get to see the world. Or you can travel to city suburbs and work on great structures, hospital institutions, from the public hospitals to the top of the line private hospitals. You can work on homes for the rich, and you can work on the middle class, or you can help the affordable housing buildings. There's no limit to what you can do far as building buildings, if that's something you want to do in the construction field. Then you can learn, and also you can parlay to part-time work when you're not doing overtime, making that union, double, triple scale. Sometimes you just want to work for yourself and take your time and help a few people, family and friends. It's always a few coins in that so that you can help them save money and you can make some money for lunch, for dinner, for an extra night out, or to give to the wife so she can go buy some more jewelry or another purse. And it's just your side job helping others save money, and you're making money because you have a skill set. It's a skill set that's always useful in society. If you learn any of them trades in construction, there's somewhere in society every day of the week. If you're available and not doing regular work on a site, a construction site, you can utilize your skills to help somebody somebody in the community, or some other small business. So that's the important part. You can keep working, keep sustaining yourself, and just like some of the illegal jobs, you can sustain yourself well enough not to have to go that route again. Not to have to tear down your community for a few dollars, or not fall back into the monkey can't sell bananas that you out there trying to hustle. Next thing you know, your addiction is worse, is better than it has grown. The monster of your addiction is causing you to lose everything you hustling for to try to take care of yourself or your family.
Absolutely.
So that's the detriment of alcoholism, substance abuse, and that substance use disorder. Also, gambling and other addictions, but you can go into jobs that can help you take care of yourself and your family, and be an asset to your community. So it's very important we utilize gentlemen like Mr. Deon Davis, who are small business owners, as we talk about a, quote, Black Friday, or in terms of a Blackout Friday, since some things are changing in society and they want to abandon some advantages and some equitable changes they made to help minorities in various businesses. So it's kind of this Blackout Friday thing going on. Well, a small business place is where you still want to spend money. All right. So if you don't go to the big stores, the big boxes, because they have changed their policies and not as friendly to all of us spending money there, then you can go to small black businesses. But also there's opportunities to work for these companies as they grow. You don't always have to work for the big box stores while they get rich and you make $15 an hour or $16, $17 an hour. And that's only because Chicago got a living wage ordinance. If there wasn't, a lot of them stores, you probably would still be making $10, $12 an hour, while the people investing in those stores make millions in investments or hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands, while you sweating to help put product on the shelf and helping run the registers and help stock the shelves. So there are other options that pay you better, and you have a skill set where you can become your own businessman or woman. Or sometimes even teenagers. Some teenagers learn these skills, and they 16, 17, 18 already starting their little companies, waiting for the day when they can get licensed and bonded, and they got their own little business while they go to work and get an apprenticeship program at 18. At 21, they making $70,000, $80,000 a year and moving forward legitimately. So these are options we want to provide our community. The other thing we want to say, Deon alluded to, we have him willing to help us as people turn their life around. He's willing to help put them to work on some projects and help train them so that they can grow into the business, see if they like the business, and if so, then try to get them in a legitimate apprentice program. Because he knows where the apprenticeship programs are for carpenters, electricians, plumbers, and pipe fitters, or iron workers or something like that. So he knows where those programs are. And if a person shows that they're really willing to do the work and want to get in those programs, he's willing to help them, as well as he grow his business, he'll be able to train them eventually from the beginning stage all the way through. Right now, he may have to sometimes partner with other bigger groups, so when his work gets slow, he can send them over there, because my understanding, most apprenticeship programs, they still want you to do almost 18 months of training on different projects or a project.
The way it works is that we try to put the resources, give the information when they come through. If they come through hands up, if they're around hands up, we can give them they have the opportunity to get the resources, the information that could guide them into that vehicle. They may want they may have certain things they need to know, and the information is readily available.
Right.
And we talk, and then the kind of audience we usually kind of run it to is guys that's that was we can say that here, right? So,
right. Oh yeah.
Guys that had minor offenses, they've criminal, serve time. Okay.
Hopefully minor.
I mean,
minor
I don't know.
And major.
It's nothing minor about going to prison. Going to prison is going to prison. Let's be blank. To be honest. Okay.
Yeah.
If you do something that causes you to have an adverse effect on your life, and you have punished because our laws have that, we're governed by good laws. If you serve and done your something and you have came through that, you have to do abiding things to go a different direction. You want to be able to have an outlet to go to that different direction, and that's all it is. This is encouragement, because no one this is when you come through the circle of people that I know, we always try to encourage there's a better way.
Right. And I think the other thing that's very important about what you do is there are people who sustain and built this country generation after generation in your field.
Sure.
It's a trade you can pass on to other people in the family. Like right now, he has nephews, sons, and others who have learned this trade.
Yeah.
Some are going on to apprenticeship programs. They're just doing it in lieu of they teach, they drive trucks, they do other things professionally.
Absolutely.
But in between those jobs, if they get downtime, they always like, hey, Pops, hey, Unc, hey, Brother Deon, hey, Mr. Davis, can I come work with you on a project? Because right now I got a little break into action on my other job or profession. And he's like, if he has the work, he's like, come on over.
Yeah.
He wants to do that for us as we help people turn their life around, as we help try to get people out the violent, plague street life into a more legitimate lifestyle. And we know you can't always get people to transition from that kind of money to McDonald's money. You know, McDonald's money a little better since the pandemic, because they said they used that term, that they were necessary workers and stuff like that, and people say pay us better than. So and
essential workers.
Essential workers, right? They said use that term so much. People say pay us like more essentially, or a better salary. So more living wages came out of that. However, still there are other jobs you can do that pay $25 an hour, not 18, 19, 20, but 25, 30, and then when you work your way up, you go to 35, 40, $43 an hour. So you can be making $100,000 legitimately in 2-3 years. And you can start off in the range of 43 to 60, 65,000 a year once you get through your apprenticeship.
Right.
And even in your apprenticeship, you're making like 35 to 45,000 in a lot of apprenticeship programs. They pay you as you're learning. So that's the great part of that, And as we wrap up, Deon alluded to, we're trying to create some programs where you learn upholstery, you learn how to cook. We have a lady, she came on last series a few months ago. The chef was here. She was talking about the construction industry, and we have a guy, bakery. He had a grand opening. Jonathan had a grand opening last night. A couple aldermen stopped by in his area. A couple other officials sent their regards. They couldn't make it. And he's doing solid work, putting people to work. He's ready to train people how to do bakeries, all the nice pastries you see. Sometimes you can get the chance to create some of that if you get in the program with him. So we're working on those things.
But that's the way you change the mindset, by allowing the mind to be able to be cultivated. It's just like growing flowers. You don't grow flowers just by the sunlight alone. You have to water them. You have to give them some nourishment. So that's the mindset that I'm seeing. That's the mindset that I've always enjoyed with the hands up. Is that we're trying to cultivate, and then that change the mindset. You change the mindset. You change the community. You change the community. You make it change the neighborhood. You change the neighborhood. You can change the world.
Yeah, and that's how he summed it up. That's how we're working. We're trying to one person at a time, one segment at a time, one area at a time, help rebuild the community, build up the community, rejuvenate the community, restore the community, and trying to have an impact on the world, a positive impact. And we're trying to change the dynamic of the West Side and the rest of the city of Chicago from one of violence to one of productivity, where we talk about the good things more than the bad. And to the extent they still want to talk about bad, we want to keep highlighting and develop podcasts and other avenues, and construction and contractors and bakers and chefs, to carry the message that out of our communities comes some good people doing great things. Even if some of them had a struggle or fell in a ditch along the way, they got up and made the best of life, and they were able to go back and help build and have a positive impact on society.
Absolutely.
You got a closing comment? Because we're ready to wrap.
Well, thank you for inviting me out to the segment, and I want to be able to say that I hope that Hands Up goes on and becomes bigger and better.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, CAN TV, for giving us this opportunity. We appreciate you. Blessings.